Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Outkick MMA episode 218. Now, you may be asking yourself, why do I have that stupid grin on my face? It's because I watched the Royal Rumble for the first time in probably about 20 years. This is not in my wheelhouse anymore at all. So I do not want to. This is just from a first-time viewer, right? Take me out of it. I haven't watched since Kevin Nash was wrestling. All right, that's how long ago I watched, when it was like WCW and then NWO Wolfpack and NWO Hollywood. I watched back then. All right, when I was a lot younger, that's when I watched it. Maybe even more than 20 years ago. But that's what we're gonna go over today. I'm gonna go over the Royal Rumble match only. All right, we're gonna go over the Royal Rumble. We're gonna talk about what happened, who was in it. We're gonna go over the the sequence of events, probably the highlights, probably the biggest highlight of the night, which is probably everywhere on social media, to be honest with you. Real quick, before we get started, if you like MMA, you like podcasts about MMA, that's what I normally do here. I normally do fight breakdowns. I do like round by round breakdown, trying to understand the decision, giving my opinion, trying to understand controversial stuff. UFC, Bellator, PFL, I cover all that stuff normally. So this is not normally what I do, but we are going to cover the WWE Royal Rumble 2023. We're going to cover that now. I don't know if there's going to be too much in the way of timestamps down below. Let's just get right into it. Let's talk about how it started. So from my perspective, like I said at the top of this, I have not watched the WWE in forever. It's been like over 20 years. The fact that I recognize some of these people, like the names, is amazing to their longevity. I know who Rey Mysterio is. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Some interesting things that happened when, like, I was watching. Obviously, when Pat McAfee showed up immediately. I know who Pat McAfee is. I've seen his show a few times. I've watched him. I've listened to his podcast a little bit. And when he came up and he was doing announcing, that brought me into it a little bit because I'm familiar with him, right? So it played into the show. I appreciate my overall impression. Let's just go with that. I have fun. I really did. I'm someone who enjoys MMA. It's my favorite sport. Always, probably always will be my favorite sport, barring some crazy changes. And I have no illusions about what was going on in there. You could tell when there were fake punches, blah, blah. I don't want to get into that. This is not an argument for that kind of stuff. I don't care. That's not the kind of discussion I want to have. I'm just talking about my experience watching it. The biggest amount of enjoyment I got from it was when big actions happened, right? Like real actions, acrobatics, that kind of thing, and comedy. When the commentary team is making fun of someone and when funny stuff happens in the ring. I'm all down for that because that's universal, right? People want to say, oh, it's fake this, fake that. Yes, so are movies. Okay, movies are fake too, and we all go watch those. We watch TV shows. That's all fake, guys. I'm going to let you know, Morgan Freeman has never been president. I don't know if you know this, but he's not the president, never has been. But you're going to say, oh, well, I saw him in his movie. Look, you see how stupid that argument is? Like, for those people who are out there just like, it's fake, I don't watch it because if that's really why you don't watch it, then I hope you don't watch anything else either. And unless it's real autobiographical or biographical documentaries, and that's it. I only watch nature documentaries and shows about World War I. That's all I watch. If that's the case and you want to make the criticism, fine, go for it. But to me, this is just live theater. And it's entertaining live theater because it involves acrobatics. Right? That's like acrobatics and gymnastics is just feats of strength that are pretty cool. Like people say, oh, well, it's fake because of this. And oh, when they're jumping, oh, they're not taking. I don't care. Dude, lifting another human being up who weighs 200 plus pounds is hard enough, let alone 300 pounds, or some of these guys are 400. Some of these guys are gigantic. We're going to go over the order that people came in, kind of what I thought about them, how interesting it was. And then also, maybe talk about, I might mispronounce some names. So, well, let's just go into it. So to start out, we had Gunther, and he started out, and if you notice the time, I'll pull up the list here for you if you guys can read that. He was in the ring for 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds, setting the record, okay? Previously held by Rey Mysterio. So this guy set the record. He is the Intercontinental Champion, the current Intercontinental Champion. Sorry, if, by the way, I do not mean to offend. Please do not take any offense for real wrestling fans here. I am not, if I mess something up, if I don't say something right, and if I misquote it, I mean no offense, I promise. I really did enjoy watching this. So I understand if you're like, oh, who's this guy? It's like, I understand that. I understand. Trust me, this is coming from a good place in my heart. So it was him and Sheamus. I know Sheamus. I know him. I've seen him on some other things. I've seen him around on Twitter and stuff, so I did recognize that. The match between them, it was interesting while it was going on. I realize now, because both of them were in for so long, Sheamus lasted 52 minutes, and Gunther was in there. He was in there till the very end, so knowing that now, what was going on early doesn't really matter that much because it was just there to keep things going. I felt like they did enough. And then when The Miz came in, he was only in there for 4 minutes and got shoved to the side by Sheamus, which was pretty damn cool when that happened. That was fun. Kofi Kingston came in. That was pretty. He was energetic when he came in, and then eventually when I think Xavier. So they're a part of New Day, right? I'm pretty sure it's New Day. Anyway, they came in. They were fun. It was a lot of energy from them. Kofi, they lasted in there quite a while. Kofi was in there for almost 15 minutes, and Xavier was in there for 10. They got eliminated together by Gunther. Gunther did some work in here, guys. Like you'll see when we get later. He kind of got a name on his record that's important. It was really fun. It was fun to see, fun to watch. Let's see here. So The Miz came in, then Kofi came in. Johnny Gargano, he was in there for quite some time. All right, so he was in there for almost 30 minutes. Johnny Gargano was in there. He was being thrown over the ropes. So he's one of the smaller guys. Like he was being thrown over the ropes. Kofi was as well. Kofi was being thrown over the ropes quite a few times. He was holding on for dear life, and like his feet were dangling and not quite touching. It just it's not high like. That's high theater, in my opinion. All right, that's good stuff. That's a lot of athleticism to hold onto a rope that's bouncing up and down with your whole body weight, and to control it mid flip. Right, you're flipping over the damn thing. You flip yourself over a stationary bar, and you tell me how easy it is. All right. Just look at, we're all impressed when gymnasts do this stuff, but guys do this while throwing kicks and landing flat on their face and stuff. And now you're gonna toss up your hands who cares? That's dumb. It's fun, dude. It was a freaking blast. It's so much fun. Chad Gable was in. So Karrion Kross came in. He was in there for a little bit. Obviously he's a bigger guy. He went in there. He went toe to toe with McIntyre, who came in a little bit later. Chad Gable was in there. I don't remember much of what he did. I don't feel like he had a lot of real moments in there. So Drew McIntyre he teamed up with Sheamus for most of the time that he was in there. So they both ended up getting eliminated together much later on. He eliminated. Let's see. He eliminated Karrion Kross. That's right. They went toe-to-toe. He eliminated Karrion Kross. That's why Kross was only in there for 4 minutes. Chad Gable. Oh, he eliminated Elias. That was later on. That was funny. They're making fun of Pat McAfee because he's the only Elias fan. Again, I don't know that. I don't know these guys. I don't know if I'm supposed to like them or whatever. I could gather who the heels are. Trust me, I could get that stuff. And if you notice the eliminated by, there's a name on here quite a bit. We're going to go through in a second before I get the highlights. Oh, it doesn't have him on it. Damn, that's unfortunate. Darn. Okay, that's okay. So at this point, I think, oh man, how many people did we have in here? We had a few. I don't want to go through and count them all. But anyway, we had probably 7 guys in there, 8 guys in there, whatever, that are left over. Santos Escobar comes in. Again, not a lot from him. He came in, he was, energetic. He got his few moves in, then he was kind of sitting to the side, didn't do too much. Angelo Dawkins, he only lasted for 2.5 minutes. He didn't do much. And that's because immediately after Dawkins comes in, they play the music and Brock Lesnar's big ass gets in there. So now I know who Brock Lesnar is. Obviously, if you're watching this channel and you've made it this far, go ahead and hit subscribe. But please stick around. We got a little bit more to go through. But I appreciate y'all for sticking with me here. But we all remember when Brock Lesnar came from the WWE. He was past my time, right, of watching the WWE, and he came over to the UFC in a time when I was first. It was after when I was first getting into it, right? That was the resurgence of Randy Couture, and he came back over. So I'm very familiar with Brock Lesnar's fighting career. I'm not actually as familiar with his wrestling career, but I know how big of a fan he was, or how many fans he had, and how big of a star he was because of how much popularity he brought to the UFC and how many eyes he brought to the UFC. To this day, I think he is one of the most influential fighters in UFC history, in MMA history. Honestly, when you talk about UFC history and someone important to the UFC, you're talking about someone important to MMA. Now, there are people outside of the UFC who have had big impacts on MMA, but anybody who's had a big impact anybody who's had a huge impact on Bellator doesn't necessarily mean you have a huge impact in MMA as a whole, right? And that's not to put down that person or their skills or anything. It's just that the organization doesn't have as big of an impact on the MMA community as a whole, whereas the UFC does. It's just like and for him to come in and change things. So anyway, he's in there for 2.5 minutes, and he launches Angelo so he first of all, he comes in and suplexed everybody. Everyone. He just did it to everybody. He comes in, he just starts flipping everybody over, and grabs them. He just cleans house, starts throwing people out, right? That's why you've got someone like, Chad Gable? Yeah, Chad Gable only lasted for, 8 minutes, and then you got Escobar only lasted 5 minutes. But here's the thing. All these guys who didn't last that long and got eliminated, he eliminated 3 people in only 2.5 minutes. 3 people he got out of that ring in 2.5 minutes. And then he goes mano a mano with Bobby Lashley, who's also had an MMA career. He fought in Bellator, so I am a little familiar with that. So I know of Bobby Lashley. I know how big he is, and I know he only fights when they're at a Native American reserve. Indian reserve, not Native American. There's more to that. Anyway, so Bobby Lashley ends up eliminating Brock Lesnar, knocks him over. Brock Lesnar is not happy about it. He's very upset. So I think Brock Lesnar spent more time doing stuff like this. He's just he picks up the stairs and whips them at I think Pat McAfee and everybody. Oh, and he takes out the next guy coming in. Oh, who came in after Bobby Lashley? Oh my God, that was freaking so funny. He didn't even make it into the ring. He's so pissed. Oh, that was a blast. See, that's what I'm talking about. It made me laugh. It was just good times. So, Brock Lesnar was my highlight, right? So that was the mid highlight, which had a huge impact on me. It really brought me into it. Made me. I was laughing by myself in my living room watching this, having a blast. So much fun. Baron Corbin I don't even think he made it. Yeah, it's 7 seconds because he never made it in. He barely did anything. Seth frickin' Rollins, he comes in. He lasted for quite some time. He actually lasted to the final 4. He did a really good job in there. He was in there for 37 minutes. Otis came in. Yeah, almost was later. Or Amos was later. Otis comes in. He doesn't last very long. Not much to say about him. He big heavy guy. I think. What's his face? Chad Gable, the Olympic wrestler. So that last name sounds familiar. I do not know if he's related to Dan Gable. But anyway, So he's the Olympic wrestler, and then he's teammates with Otis. I do like their kind of catchphrase thing, like "shoosh, shoosh." That's pretty fun. I like that. Otis was, he got in there. He was throwing people around. He didn't eliminate anybody, so that wasn't that crazy. Then he ends up getting out. He got eliminated while we were talking about Rey Mysterio and Dominic, because Rey Mysterio, they called for Rey Mysterio. He doesn't show up, which was kind of disappointing because I do know who Rey Mysterio is. I remember watching him. He was so acrobatic. He was one of the smaller guys, so seeing him doing stuff in between the ropes, like holding onto the ropes and flipping between them, super impressive. It was a lot of fun to watch as a kid, and I remember that stuff. We just didn't get to see it. Who's next on there? No, we're not there yet. That was pretty fun. The rated R superstar. He had a fun entrance. He was in there for a little bit. So then the next person to come in is Dominic Mysterio, his Rey Mysterio's son. I could tell that he was a heel. They laid it on pretty thick. All right. So they laid that one on pretty thick. He was in there for 25 minutes. They were making jokes about him being a cockroach, and there's only a few people going to be left. If there's a nuclear fallout, you're going to have Twinkies, cockroaches, and Dominic Mysterio. And then Pat McAfee said a really funny joke. You could have just said cockroaches and Twinkies, because he's one of those, and he's not a Twinkie. I thought that was pretty freaking funny. That was fun. That was a good line from McAfee. And then, speaking of Pat McAfee, so Elias comes in with his guitar, and Pat McAfee's like, "Yeah!" And I think he was louder than everybody in the crowd because nobody cared. They looked at Pat and they're like, "Are you the world's only Elias fan?" And he was like, "Yeah, we grew up together. We know each other. I know his family." So he didn't last very long. Elias ends up getting out. Dominic Mysterio was in there for 25 minutes, so he got plenty of play. They, especially when he was in there, when Finn Balor showed up, and then Damian Priest, who are his teammates, when they showed up, they got a lot of play. Them being the worst and they suck and all that stuff. So a lot of heel talk. Elias was only in there for 39 seconds. So, Finn Balor was in there for a little bit. So Finn wasn't a huge story, but then Booker T comes in, and he's okay. Another guy I recognize. I love Booker T back in the day. He was fun to watch. Obviously, he's much older now, and he was there just to put his name in there. I get it. They gave him his time. They let him do his move, and then he got eliminated by Gunther, actually. So remember, Gunther was first in, and he's trying to be last out. So Gunther's still in here. This is 40 minutes into the damn thing, and he's still running around, and he knocks out Booker T, throws him out. Then you got Damian Priest, like I said. He came in, and then Montez Ford comes in. He's only in there for 44 seconds. Not much to say about him. Then Edge, the rated R superstar. I do know of Edge, although he was a little bit after my time from when I was watching. So Edge comes in, knocks out Damian Priest and Finn Balor. But then after those guys get knocked out, they come and grab Edge off the side. That was a super douche move. They're living up to their heel name. Like, they are the worst. They really are. They suck. I do not like those guys. I hope they all die in a fiery car wreck on the next the next one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to go to WrestleMania. I didn't mention that, but that is like the whole thing. That's why you want to win the Royal Rumble. It was a blast watching this thing. Up to this point, like, I was invested, all right? Now, never at what, like I said before, I don't want to keep touching on this, but this is just coming from a MMA fan's perspective. Never once did I give a shit that they weren't throwing real punches. I don't care, right? This is all high theater to me, highfalutin theater. So Edge gets pulled off I think he was on the outside of the ropes, and he ends up getting pulled off of him by these two assholes who were sitting around, even though they were already eliminated. So that's it's super douchey, but apparently it's not supposed to happen, but it's kind of allowed. Really dumb. Don't like it. Austin Theory comes in. He is the American champion, I believe. he had his moments in there. He did come in late, so he came in at 25. He was number 25, and he was in there for 15 minutes. So he was in there. I think he was one of the last four as well. He did a pretty no, he wasn't one of the last four, but he was doing a good job. He's doing a good job in there. Um, let's see. No, you know what? He was one of the last four, I believe. Right? He had to have been. Yeah, and this whole time, Seth frickin' Rollins is also still in there, doing his damn thing. He did eliminate Baron Corbin, and he was the one who knocked out Bobby Lashley, which is pretty freaking cool. Like getting Bobby Lashley wasn't in there very long, to be honest. He was only in there for 7 minutes. I didn't mention that before, but he got eliminated. Dominic Mysterio kept sticking around. He ends up getting eliminated later by who did he get eliminated by? Cody Rhodes. Yeah. So Cody Rhodes isn't in there yet. But anyway, so we were at Amos or Omos. Big giant dude. He's 7'4". He doesn't have too much of a personality. When he came in, he is very much in the line of, the Kane, not the Undertaker. He's very much like the Kane, right? Where he doesn't have a big personality. He's just a big body that they put in there. He's real strong. He's athletic enough to do the things that he needs to do, but he doesn't have, he doesn't have a big thing about him. Not that I noticed, right? Nothing about him screamed like I have personality. They wasn't in colorful garb like a lot of people like New Day. They're all in like bright pink and like video game colored crap. That's crazy. He was in there. He was throwing people around, and he came in and he was like, "This is my house," and he was throwing people around and stuff. But he didn't eliminate anybody. Then immediately after he's in there, Braun Strowman comes in and throws him over. He throws him over like it's nothing. And Braun was in there for 11 minutes. Ricochet comes in right after Strowman and their teammates. So they had some fun stuff. He's throwing Ricochet around. That was hilarious. And then probably the biggest moment for the more modern era is going to be Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes in, and he lasts. He's in there into the final four. And he takes out Seth frickin' Rollins, and he pulls him. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy thing that happens, so Logan Paul shows up. Everybody's super excited. It's a blast. Drinking his crappy drink. If you buy his stuff because you like the way it tastes, I got nothing to say to you. I got nothing against it, right? But if you're buying it because, like, it's supposed to be a superior hydration thing, oh, yeah. So immediately when he comes in, everybody stops what they're doing so that they can do this. Just beat the crap out of him. That was fun. But the highlight of the match. Oh, yeah. Is this where they take Edge? Yeah, so Edge comes, but he was pretty exciting. He had some good stuff. This is the one, guys. This is the one right here. This is the biggest moment of the night. And I mean biggest as in, so this is Ricochet and Logan Paul. And this is worth it. I'm telling you. It's like, so they're talking to each other across the ring. Let's do it then. Let's do it. 1, 2, woo, bam! Oh my God. That's crazy. Like, do you understand how high they were? I don't even know if they don't show the replay. Look at this. Look how high they are in this goddamn thing. Look at that. That is nuts. That is nuts. All right. Okay. Logan Paul had his moments. He was in there for 11 minutes, which means a lot because he came in at number 29. So he's second to last. Cody Rhodes comes in, number 30. Coming off of pec surgery, apparently. He comes in, he starts eliminating people. He eliminates Austin Theory, Braun Strowman, Dominic Mysterio. Thank God they got rid of him. Gunther and Logan Paul. So he actually eliminated Logan Paul before he got Gunther. Gunther and Cody Rhodes were the last ones left. They had a fun back and forth. Both guys were outside the ropes at one point. The American Nightmare. What's this one? Oh yeah, I forgot. This is where Logan Paul. So after that jump, they were both knocked out for a while. He eliminated Seth frickin' Rollins. Everybody forgot that he was even in the ring. Yeah, this was a big moment for the American Nightmare to come back. That was pretty cool. You could feel the energy in there too, from watching it. That was a lot of fun. And this is him, victorious, the winner, of the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania. Super fun. Honestly, guys, I understand if this isn't your cup of tea. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. This is not what I normally do, although if people are really interested in this, I will talk about wrestling more. I love this stuff. I still do, apparently. It never got kicked out of me. I don't know what it is. I had fun watching it. I'll watch it again. I'll watch. Obviously, they only do WrestleMania once a year, or not WrestleMania. Actually, I don't know if they do WrestleMania. They do Royal Rumble once a year. I am down to watch that every year. Some bigger events I'm down to watch. I like spectacle and I like athleticism and that kind of stuff. So I'm always down to watch those things. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. Let me know what you guys thought. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Try to be polite in the comments to each other. I mean, you want to trash me, you're more than welcome. But just be nice to each other. I had a blast. What did you guys think? If you didn't watch this, if you came here to hear some fight breakdowns or whatever, I mean, you clicked on it and you saw the video title. But this is. I appreciate you coming here. I really mean it. If you're just into spectacle, like if you like a big knockout, right? If you like a guy doing a big motion and getting a huge kick or something like that, that's all this is. It's all dopamine, right? You're just getting dopamine hit, dopamine hit, dopamine hit. It's just nonstop action, and I totally get it, man. I understand that it's fake, the storylines, all that stuff. I don't care. I don't care. It like who wins and why they're winning and all that stuff. I don't care. I want to see athleticism. I want to see gymnastics. I want to see like just high altitude stuff. I loved it. I loved it. I will watch it again, and I can't. I'm like I said. If people are interested, I'll start covering this more too. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this isn't normally my cup of tea, but I appreciate it if you stick around this far. If you want to check out some of my old UFC stuff, I've broken down every UFC card over the past few years. So if you go check out those ones, maybe I'll do some more wrestling. If you got some suggestions for me to watch, what I should be watching on a regular basis, let me know down below. I'm putting it out there. You guys tell me what you think. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Have an amazing week, and I love y'all.